free me because I finally feel like I can be like open and honest. I have been like, I've had to watch what I say over the last couple of videos because we weren't like putting it out there yet, and I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. People are going to notice that I'm pregnant if I say a certain thing, but whatever. Now we are here. You guys know it's all out in the open, and now we can just talk openly and freely like I love to do. So this is going to be my first pregnancy trimester update. So I'll be talking about weeks because I found out when I was about 8 weeks. So I'll be talking about 8 weeks to 16 weeks, which I'll be tomorrow. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is that when I got pregnant with all of my 3 other children, I knew like almost right away, even with Brooklyn, and that was my first child, I could tell that my body was doing something different. I felt different. I almost felt sick. Like, I get a lot of nausea during pregnancy, so I felt like sick to my stomach. I felt sick in my head. Like, it just was a weird feeling that wasn't normal for me. So I took a pregnancy test with Brooklyn, and that's a whole nother story. It was positive, blah blah blah. But with this time, with baby number 4, it was the same type of deal. Like, my husband and I, we knew we wanted more kids. I had an IUD previously, the copper IUD, which is called the Paragard, which I recommend if you are into birth control in that form. It was good to me for the 4 years that I had it. I never got pregnant. I never had any issues with it. But when I came to the Lord and I started reading scripture about being fruitful and multiply, and how women will be saved through bearing children, I had always been told with my 3 children before, I had always been told that like, it is my purpose to bear children. I know that doesn't seem like the most glamorous purpose, at least to me it didn't. But the nurses, the doctors, like, because my births and my deliveries were so pleasant for the most part, as pleasant as they can be, and I really didn't have too many complications, they all were saying, you know, like, your body is made to have children, because there's some women who have a lot of complications, they have a lot of trouble bearing children, and that just wasn't the case for me. So so with that being said, I came to the Lord, and I was like in relationship with him, and he really convicted me. I felt like I was blocking my blessing, and I told my girlfriend that, and she was like, no, why you gotta say it like that? I think she kind of felt it a little bit too when I said it. I felt like I was blocking blessings from the Lord, so I removed my Paragard. Now, once I did that, I went to the doctor, and I was like, the doctor was like, you're gonna be back here within a couple of weeks saying that you're pregnant. I knew that once I removed my Paragard that I was going to be pregnant within a couple months, but because of the fear of having another child, going through that process, I wanted to move first. We hadn't moved yet, or we still haven't moved, but you know, I was so nervous that every time I would go to like do the thing with my husband, I would feel like, I'm gonna get pregnant, no. So we spent a lot of time just praying through, and just me trying to overcome the idea of just even having another child. So once I was over that idea, and we kind of started getting into the groove of husband and wife again, bam, of course, like I said, pregnancy came right away. So for those of you who are asking, was this planned? Was it unplanned? It was planned for the most part, but my husband and I, we're the type of people that we're not like I love to be organized and planned. That's one thing I love to do. But we're very much more so like, just let it happen, just let it be natural. Like, I didn't want to be like, okay, I'm ovulating in this day, and there's nothing wrong with people who go that route and who have to do that. But our personality and just how we are, we like it to be a little bit more spontaneous. So it was planned in the sense that we wanted more children. It wasn't planned in the sense that we didn't strategically make it happen. So to answer that. Now, my first trimester, so I find out I'm pregnant. It's almost immediately after I find out that I'm pregnant that I got like super duper tired. I felt like, I don't know, like I have run a marathon every single day. And it's normal. I got a kid stomping up the steps. It's normal to feel fatigue in the beginning of your pregnancy because you are literally creating a baby. Like God is doing that inside of you. So you don't really have any control aside from like what you eat and the nutrients that you're giving yourself. You don't have any control over what's going on. Really, it's controlling you. It's feeding off of you. It is getting what it needs off of you. So whatever it's pulling from you is going to make you very tired. And the energy, you're creating more blood cells. Your blood flow is changing. So all of these things happening in your body make you very tired. But me, I was like extra tired. I felt that way in the beginning of all of my pregnancies, so I kind of was just like, whatever, I'm just pregnant, it is what it is. So I was sleeping a lot. Luckily, I have an amazing husband who picks up the slack, especially in a case like this. So he was helping a lot around the house and with the kids and just doing all the things that he does because he's just so special and amazing. But so I ended up going to my first OB appointment, which, you know, I already knew I was pregnant, so I called and made an appointment, and they told me that my iron was really low. Now I have to look up like what an average, I was gonna do that but I didn't do it before this video, what the average iron level of a healthy woman is. Now when I am not pregnant, my iron levels are normal. So I suppose I never had any issues with anemia or anything like that. But for some reason, when I get pregnant, and this has happened with all my pregnancies, my iron goes down. My iron is really low. So my iron was really low. I mean, it was like a 8 or lower. So the doctor gave me, I was taking my regular prenatal pills, and the doctor gave me iron pills to take. I was taking iron before, so I wasn't surprised by them giving me iron again for this pregnancy. But with this one, it was a little bit different because, for one, as you guys know, I was transitioning vegan, which I'm going to talk about as well. I don't know if I'll put that in this video or another video. But I was transitioning vegan for a long time, so I hadn't eaten meat in over 2 years. When I found out I was pregnant, I started to have massive meat cravings. Now, this same thing happened with Brooklyn. I had a lot of meat cravings with Brooklyn. With the other two, not so much. But with Brooklyn, yes, I wanted like steak and like seafood and just like all the meat that you could think of, like heavy meat, chicken, all of that. And it seems to be the same type of deal with this pregnancy. So I started to incorporate seafood back into my diet because it would give me the energy that I needed. So I was eating a little bit of shrimp, some salmon, and that was making me feel better. After a while, I really started to be like, I really think I need some chicken or something. So I talked to my doctor, and you know, I told her what my diet restrictions were prior to pregnancy, how I was thinking of transitioning back to eating meat. She thought it was a good idea because of my iron levels. She was like, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to live your lifestyle or what to do, but she was like, to be quite honest, iron, the highest level of irons are found in red meats in general, but in red meats in particular. And she said not only that, but it's the easiest to absorb. And in your case, where it's not just that your iron is low for yourself, but you're pregnant, and your iron being low affects the growth of your child. So I would suggest that you incorporate the meat back into your diet if you're okay doing it. I was definitely okay doing it. I transitioned into veganism as a spiritual thing. It was no longer becoming a spiritual thing for me. It was actually becoming more of a burden. If you guys want me to get in depth about that, I'll talk about that in another video. But it was becoming like, it was difficult to keep my family, you know, on vegan meals. it just was becoming a lot. It was becoming overwhelming. So I started to incorporate more meat back into my diet, and I started to feel more energy. The iron pills coupled with my prenatal pill were making me really nauseous, to the point where I would throw up 10-15 minutes after I would take the pill. So my doctor suggested that I stop taking the pill and just eat iron rich foods. So that means leafy greens, meats, red meats in particular, beans, what else, peppers, different things like that to up my iron levels. Once I started doing that, I started to feel a lot better. So my goal became to eat more whole, healthier meals with whole grains, with meats, with even dairy products. Now please don't get up in my comments if you are a vegetarian or vegan and you have your facts. I've done the research on veganism and vegetarianism and just the difference between the two, and I'm also a follower of Christ, so we're not going to get into the details and the specifics of the whys and the why nots unless you guys really want me to do a video about that specifically. But if you are following that lifestyle, please don't get in my comments and tell me all the reasons why I should still be vegan or still be vegetarian while I'm pregnant. This is the lifestyle that is working for me. It's working for my health. So yeah, I'm gonna continue doing that. Now once I started doing that, like I said, I started to get a little bit more energy. Also, like I said, I had a lot of nausea during the beginning of my pregnancy and also during the beginning of Brooklyn's pregnancy. And once I started to change my diet and started to eat a little bit more and more whole, healthier meals, my nausea started to subside. Now they do say that when you're going into your second trimester, it subsides anyway, which I have experienced before also. So I don't know if it was that or if it was the food or a combination of both, but I do know that into the end of my first trimester and the second trimester, I really didn't throw up as much. But I did notice that when I was taking those pills, I was throwing up each and every time I took them. Once I started to change my diet and really focus on more so the food that I was eating, the thoughts that I was having, praying more, praying for the baby, praying that you know, my iron levels would rise, and just trusting in God that everything was going to be okay, I started to feel better, and I started to feel more energy, and I started to not be as nauseous, and I didn't throw up like at all. So that was great. The other thing that I noticed with this pregnancy as opposed to my other pregnancies is my belly grew a lot faster. Now they say that once you've been pregnant already, it is much easier for you to start showing, and I did experience that with my 2 previous pregnancies, but I'm the smallest now that I've ever been being pregnant. Even with Brooklyn, before I had had any children, I was still bigger than I am right now, and that I was at the beginning of my pregnancy, because I've already gained some weight. So I started to show like within weeks of me being pregnant. I started to my belly started to grow. Others couldn't really tell. Now you can definitely tell, and I'm only 4 months, but yeah, definitely grow a lot faster. And the doctor said it's just because your body kind of knows what to do. Your uterus and your reproductive organs kind of just know already. We've been through this before, and they kind of kick it into high gear. So she said that my uterus was expanding already, so it just does what it's supposed to do. Thank you, Jesus. And then I had very tender breasts. That's a normal symptom and to be expected. What else for this pregnancy? Oh, we told the kids are really excited, super duper excited. They talk to my belly every day. Bill talks to my belly every day. Brooklyn was so funny because she was like, I'm not changing those stinky diapers, but I think she's gonna be the one that's like most excited when the baby comes. So I'm due December 6th. That's my due date. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else for those first few weeks besides my iron levels, my diet changing, me being really tired and nauseous, and then getting a lot better. The tenderness and just the weight gain, I guess because I started incorporating meat back into my diet, I did start to gain weight more quickly. So within that first month and a half, I gained like 10 pounds. My doctor was like, it's fine, it's to be expected. It's because you, most likely because you weren't eating meat and then you started to eat meat, and of course you have a growing baby inside of you. So these are all like normal things. Nobody was concerned about my weight gain, and yeah, everything seems to be going well and normal. We had our first ultrasound, which was great. We got to see the little munchkin. He was like bouncing around in there. And my second ultrasound, where I find out the gender, is July 16th. Now they don't allow recording inside the actual ultrasound office, which sucks, but I think it's just the electronics that, like the interference, they don't want any, I guess. So I won't be allowed to film inside there, but I will let you guys know the gender when I find out. We are praying for a boy, my husband and I, and so are my kids, honestly. The girls, they kind of teeter back and forth. They're on the fence whether they want another girl in the family or another boy, because to them a boy is like stinky. They're already sick of their brother. But my son, who is surrounded by girls all the time, is like, I need a boy. So he's like always praying. He's always touching my stomach, asking God for it to be a boy. And honestly, I really would love a boy. We will love a girl the same. We'll give her the same love that we would give a boy, but it's just my heart's desire to have another boy since I have 2 girls. And the same goes for my husband. So we're praying for a boy, and hopefully that prayer is answered. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any first trimester questions, or if you want to share your experiences with your children, I would love to hear it in the comment section below. If you guys have any questions for me, any pregnancy questions, anything you want me to talk about more in detail, I would love to do that for you. So just let me know again in the comments. And my next pregnancy update will probably be after my ultrasound, once I find out what it is, so sometime in July. And I'll let you guys know how it's going. In the meantime, I'll be doing other videos, so you'll definitely see me growing, and I'll be mentioning you know, what's going on in my pregnancy. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will talk to you in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.